There's an article on ESPN.com as reported by two phenomenal reporters, Ramona Shelburne and Tim McMahon, and it is about Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets, and it's titled "Why the Houston Rockets Season Ended with a Thud." And in the article, Kevin Durant's moodiness, quote unquote, wore down on his teammates. Rockets plan to keep him in Ime Udoka. That's what they're saying. That they're going to keep the best player and the head coach. And despite the loss, multiple high-level team sources still believe the young core can contend for the next decade. Those same sources said Udoka will remain an essential part of the team's future. Durant, too. Not do you believe the reporting. I want to be clear on this. Do you believe those saying that to our phenomenal reporters?
Yes, I do.
You think that team that ended with the thud, as it was said in the article, will just run it back? Hey, we got Fred VanVleet back. We're good to go.
Well, that is a central, or I should say a focal point in the article that you're referencing, is that part of the reason why the Rockets were never able to hit their stride consistently and have that cohesiveness that translated to postseason success was a void in leadership. And they point out that VanVleet is that guy and that his absence was a huge problem and a huge part of the equation that was missing for the Rockets to get where they needed to go. So based on the reporting, I'm going to lean towards yes, that all parties will be back and that VanVleet will be the secret sauce, if you will, that they're hoping for now that he's going to be back consistently.
I don't think they can do anything other than run it back right now because this season, for getting to the playoffs without your second best player out there and then, winning a bunch of games in that first round series without Kevin Durant, without your offense, they're going to look at this and say the missing elements here are not enough or more, I guess rather, let me rephrase that. They're going to look at this and say, we don't have enough to conclude that the construction of this roster won't work because they never really got to see it at all in full. So I think they run it back with the group that they have, but this report's concerning. And honestly, Evan, this makes me think back to, what was it, Game 3? When you and I were sitting here last Monday and Dave McMenamin had that report that kind of dropped something in that Eamon Thompson said about not really knowing how Kevin Durant was doing. And there were I know that I looked at my Twitter mentions. There are a lot of people criticizing us for making something out of nothing. Well, I don't think it's nothing now. I think the reporting that Ramona and Tim put together here, connecting the dots for us, shows that there was friction going on inside of that building that was bubbling for a while. And ultimately, this was a team that said, hey, we've got to win without him. There's another injury that pops up, and there's another injury. We've got to win without Kevin Durant and go back to what made us a good team and put us in position to be one of the better teams in the West a year ago by relying on their youth. And in no small part does the burner accounts and all of the narrative around Kevin Durant, whether it's moodiness, whether it's, some of this behind the scenes stuff that's well reported in this article, that doesn't just go away. Locker rooms aren't just quick to be like, let's look past it. He's one of the best players ever in this game. I look at this and I think there's a lot of smoke here, but if he's that good, which we obviously know that he is, there's certain things that he'll get a pass on. I think this could cause for conversation, though, that there might need to be a very serious talk behind the scenes about Kevin Durant, who's there for one more year at the minimum, not continuing on this way because the young guys are going to be on that team far longer than Kevin Durant's future is going to be in Houston.
Can we just take a step back for a second? Because why are we talking about this? We're talking about this not because the Rockets are the most interesting team in the NBA right now. There's teams like the Knicks who are winning, teams like the Timberwolves who are winning. Why is this interesting? It's interesting because of Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant has one of the most unique sports careers in any of the major sports we've ever seen.
Complicated. Yeah,
because is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Definitively. Is he one of the greatest players to ever play the sport? Yes. Is he a champion? Yes. Did he help a championship team get even better? Absolutely. Is there anything offensively he can't do? No, he can do it all. Is he a good defensive player? Yeah. In his prime, he was a very good defensive player. He's played on a lot of teams. When he is definitively the quote-unquote leader of a team, it doesn't always go well. His choices as to what teams to go to, I think we look back and say, that was an odd one. Why not stay here versus go there? Or why not go to this team instead of that team? Is there a comp in any sport in our lifetime to Kevin Durant's career? is because I don't know who that would be.
Aaron Rodgers, maybe the closest I can think of because of the sustained level of excellence.
No,
but
because
it feels like it's fallen short in a way.
The reason I would say no on that one, I mean, it's
because he has a home in Green Bay, definitively a home.
Yeah, because he won the title as the best player on the team that we most associated him with, and I don't know that he has any kind of beef with them right now, which is, I think, I mean,
he'll
maybe
be welcome
Goody,
back.
but
He'll be welcome back.
Yeah, I mean, when Kevin Durant's all said and done, the team you most associate with him is.
It will have to be Golden State because that's where he had his most success.
I still think Oklahoma City, which is a weird thing to say considering he didn't win a title there, but the big three that never was, that's where my mind goes as a basketball fan.
But I would say Oklahoma City got significantly better, not because he's not there, but after the Kevin Durant era, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, et cetera, they got significantly better because we're in that era now. Mm-hmm. And I would say that he made an already great team, Golden State, an iconic team.
Finals MVP.
Twice. And I understand they won 73 games before he got there, but it don't mean a thing unless you get a ring, right? I mean, that's what everyone said at that point. I don't know. Vegas East, do you guys have a player comp for a career comp for Kevin Durant? Because again, the reason that this becomes interesting, the Rockets season ending in a thud, the moodiness, do they keep him? Do they go into the Giannis conversation? Do they just say, hey, change for the sake of change? Do they do what Small says and say, we don't know what this team is because the guy who's supposed to organize it and run it is Fred VanVleet, who wasn't there. But then you just take a step back and say it's logical for Kevin Durant to be on another team this year, right? Drafted by the Sonics, they become the Thunder. He then obviously goes to the Warriors. He goes to the Nets. He goes to the Suns. He's now on the Rockets. And I could easily say I think he should be on another team next year. Yet definitively first ballot Hall of Famer.
Is it kind of like Shaq?
That's interesting.
Like Shaq.
The Orlando years would be the equivalent to Oklahoma City. Got to the finals, but didn't get over the hump.
Yep, and then goes to the second team. They win. They become a dynasty with him on the team, and then there's a headache at the end of it, and then he moves on. Granted, Shaq won after with Miami, but
no. But Pat, it's an interesting point. But what we do to Kevin Durant, we don't do to Shaq. And what I mean by that is, when was the last time anyone brought up Shaq on the Cavs or the Celtics?
Never.
And he was not particularly, for Shaq, good on those teams. Where Kevin, conversely, the random teams he's been on, he's always been good. I mean, he averaged, 26 points a game this year? Something like that? Shaq's an interesting one, Pat, but I almost feel like you negated it while arguing it.
We just like Shaq.
But we should like Kevin Durant, I think.
But I think we're struggling to define his greatness. Because a lot of times when you are someone of the caliber of player of Kevin Durant, what comes with that is leadership. And that hasn't happened with him in his career, especially post-Golden State. And we keep looking for that for him to assert himself in that way. And maybe that's just not him.
We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.